Be sure to check out my Veve and Omi investors group in the description down below. Together we build generational wealth and go over everything you need to be profitable in the Veve markets. Yo, what is going on, y'all? I'm Cavell Anderson, and we are back with another Veve and Ecomi video. In this one, we're going to be talking about something that's actually massive. This is a massive YouTuber with over 1 million subscribers, and he's actually going to be talking about Veve and the Omi token in this one. But what is interesting, he's also going to be talking about the conditions of the market. And when I bring people on the channel, I bring the homie Jay from my private group. I tell people that, yo, this guy is a trader. He does this for a living. He's a whale on Veve. He's a Veve whale and an Omi whale. Like, he gives free game, he gives free information, and people don't want to take it serious. Now you have someone else using some of the same data that Jay was using, and this is part of what was being disputed there. So it's like, sometimes when you don't understand something, or you may have misunderstood what someone says, don't just instantly assume that they're wrong. Like, these guys make their living doing this. Like, this is literally what he does for a living. So like, and he also predicted that the Omi token was going to go down to these levels, the levels that they're at right now. He predicted it, and then I also brought a Forex trader onto the channel, and she predicted that it would go down this far before it went up. This is what the charts was signaling months ago, and people didn't take her seriously either, because she's young, and yeah, like, people don't respect. People pick and choose what they want to respect about certain people, man. And it's just weird. Like, the fact of the matter is, like, people asked me, yo, like, I made a video covering I guess Veve Vault's thoughts the other day, and people was like, yo, I thought you didn't like him. I thought you were into it with him. First off, I'm not into it with anybody. Second off, it does not matter if I hate someone, if I absolutely can't stand someone. I learn from everybody. I learn from everywhere. I'm not biased with my information. I'm a real investor. Like, I'm not here to be like the majority. The majority of investors are going to fail and never make any real money. I'm not here to be one of them. I'm here to learn anything and everything that I can from anyone whatsoever. I'm here to take the information in and do what I do with it, process it, think about it, see if I agree, see if I can come to the same conclusions with my own research. That is what a good investor does. I mean, it should not matter how you feel about someone. Like, the problem is, we live in a world where everybody is too emotional, and this is why 99% of the world will stay broke. It's just that simple. So you have to change your mindset. If you want to, you're in this investment so you can get rich, retire, become a millionaire, become financially free. If you're in this investment to become that way, your mind has to become that way first, because we're not even talking like we're not talking about the big topics. If, like, when Veve blows up, or when the Omi token blows up, whichever one comes first, once you have the money, it's even harder to keep the money. Like, it's even harder to know what to do with the money so you don't lose the money, especially if you've never had money before. If this was your first time lucking up on an investment that has the type of potential that this investment has, yes, it's very, very likely that you will make a lot of money. That doesn't mean that with that money, you'll be able to keep it, sustain it, and you may, like, if you get this money and blow it, you may not find another opportunity like this in your lifetime. So this is all stuff to consider and think about. It's a lot of, like, people need to change their mindsets, man. But we're gonna jump into the video here. Be sure to drop that thumbs up, subscribe, turn on notifications so you stay updated. Cause yeah, this is very huge. This is a bigger channel in the community, or not even this community. This is a bigger channel in crypto altogether. So let's check it out. Let's check out what he's talking about. We're gonna cover some of the his thoughts on the recession and some of these charts. It's gonna look very, very familiar. We just covered this on the channel with Jay. So let's get into it. Then we're going to cover the Veve part in a little bit.
We are now teetering towards a recession. Nick, you should throw this thing that I sent to you guys before. If you look back over the last 30 or 40 or 50 years and you look at every single period.
This is the exact chart that he showed, like the oil chart. You see this? Do you see this? He showed this exact chart at the video. This was one of the very first indicators that he used. It was similar to this. It wasn't the exact one he actually did. He actually did his technical analysis on the charts himself. But like this channel is doing something very similar.
Of when there has been a recession. What's interesting to note is that it's not always been the case that the price of energy has risen by 50% in a recession. But it is always the case that when energy prices spike by 50%, we enter a recession. We will contract as an economy The government will have to become more accommodating. That is the price of this economic war that we have started.
Yes, welcome back everybody to Altcoin Daily, where you subscribe for one video per day demystifying this cryptocurrency market. My name's Austin. That was, of course, incredibly successful investor Chamath Palihapitiya looking at the last 40 to 50 years of data and giving his opinion that a market crash is coming that will start with a global recession.
So it's amazing that a guy can come on the channel and bring this type of information, and then he gets flack for it, and then another guy brings the same information and he's well respected. Like, this just goes to show you that you shouldn't always matter where the information comes from. Just, does the information make sense? That's the most important thing. Does the information make sense? Can you make sense of the information? Is there information that you're missing? I think that's important.
And let's be clear, he is not the only person seeing this data. As he said, not every recession is led by a 50% rise in crude oil, but every 50% rise in crude oil has led a recession. Here is the data over the last 50 years. This is comparing the price of crude oil's percent deviation from the trend. And every time over the last half century, we've seen an over 50% rise in crude oil that has always led to a recession. And why is that? Why do you think that is? Well, in my opinion, gas has always been the blood of the economy. When it becomes too pricey, people naturally stop spending, and that's where the issue lies. The economy tightens up, leading to a recession. Now, Chamath has been very clear that he thinks the government is going to be forced to step in, forced to increase debt, subsidize, and save the people again. Let's finish the remainder of this clip. Watch this.
We will contract as an economy. The government will have to become more accommodating. That is the price of this economic war that we have started. And I think it's a just price because what's happening is not supportable.
So Chamath, you are sure that you feel strongly that we're not entering into a condition of significant stagflation where we're not able to re-stimulate the economy and we inflate everything with all this money printing?
I don't even know what stagflation is, to be completely honest with you. I don't think I've ever seen it. I know how it's classically described. I think it's like pseudo-intellectual kind of gobbledygook speak. What I can tell you is I think that prices are too high in certain core commodities and goods. I think what's going to happen is we are going to find a way to subsidize those prices coming down. And I think the simplest way to do it is for the government to step in and become a buffer. And it will drive massive deficits. It'll drive increasing amounts of debt. But I think that is a simple way for us to make sure we put and ratchet the pressure.
All right, y'all. So we're gonna get past this clip right here. This was interesting. This was interesting data and information. Obviously, my friend is just a trader. Jay is just a trader. He like, that's how he makes his money, trading. So he goes over this quickly. He maybe doesn't explain it exactly like this, but it's just one of the indicators that he uses. When you're trading, you use multiple indicators. Just because you see something like this, that's not all you go by. You also go by the history of Bitcoin. You go by the history of other things as well. You go by as much, you use as many indicators as possible to make sure, and then if you see multiple indicators, that's how you get a good idea. Yeah, this looks like this is it. Like, obviously anything can happen, but the fact is, if you have 3 indicators pointing towards a recession, I mean, yeah, there we have it. So that being said, let's jump into the VV part now.
Hopefully this year, but a very positive long-term sign for Bitcoin. Well, what about altcoins? Did you know that Pixar just launched NFTs off of the Veve app and Omi? The Pixar NFT drop sells out on Veve shortly after launch. It appears the collection sold for an equivalent of $3.3 million. So this is huge intellectual property. And let's get specific. What were some of the NFTs that were launched? The drop consisted of iconic characters and moments created by Pixar Animation Studios, including Sheriff Woody, Mike Wazowski, Lightning McQueen, the house from Up, and much more. Users purchased their NFTs from a blind box, meaning that they received a random collectible as part of the series and would not know which collectible until after payment. So that's if you were a part of the mint, and the listed price of each Pixar NFT was 60 gems, i.e. $60. That was the listed price. At the time of publication, items in the Pixar drop were selling for up to 350 gems on the secondary market. So obviously, people had high demand for these characters, and this is all good for Omi. Whenever gems are used to purchase an NFT, 100% of the equivalent value of Omi is burnt from the token supply, while the digital collectible is transferred to the user's account.
Now we're in this state where people are concerned about what's happening with Omi, and because of the burns and buybacks and stuff like that, with no buybacks or burns actually important if it's not coming from the circulating supply. And the fact of the matter is, they didn't say we wouldn't have buybacks. They said we don't know what regulation looks like surrounding buybacks. So before they make any move on that front, they need to be sure that the token, that they're not going to bring the token down doing a rash decision. Like it's just really that simple. People just take it out of context. People scare. People let fear kick in and take over, not realizing that what's the alternative? You don't they force buybacks and then get sued, and then the investment completely goes to shit because now all this IP that they have is not going to want any affiliation with a company being sued. But people don't think that far ahead. Like the problem in this community is the ability to think. A lot of times it just comes down to like people prioritize their emotions and feelings over what's actually important. Like this is basic. This stuff is basic. You either want Veve to be sued or you don't. Like it's really simple. We don't know, like, yes, there's a chance that they can do buybacks and then they never get sued. But do you actually want to take that chance with your money? You putting your money on that? I mean, I know a lot of people will take risk, but then there's a lot of people who gamble their money and their checks away all the time. Like, why would you turn a sure thing into a risk? It's illogical.
Cool to see these major companies like Pixar getting involved in altcoins and launching NFTs.
I like that. Getting involved in altcoins and launching NFTs. So there we have it, man. This was actually the bigger channel that covered Veve and the Omi token. I think this is very bullish. I think Veve is basically on everybody's radar at this point. Well, all the crypto side of things. Like Veve is making a name for itself, slowly rising. But I mean, they're going to need to continue to do what they're doing, start to release a few more things, and we're going to be seeing something. I think we're going to be seeing something crazy in the short term. We're going to be seeing something crazy in the short term, in my opinion. But let me know what you all think in the comment section down below. Be sure to drop that thumbs up, subscribe, turn notifications so you stay updated. And yeah, I'm going to catch you all in the next one. Peace out, y'all.